Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got Coinbase, R3, CBDCs, Temenos. You're going to want it. Monica Long, Chris Larson, Volante, Deliotte, Brad Chase from Ripple. Oh, my God, and so much more. The gatekeepers to payment. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.1 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.5%. Good afternoon. 26,600 plus for Bitcoin, 1595 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap 83.1 billion plus, and we still don't know how the U.S. government feels about it. But that's where we are today. XRP's 51 cents. It's up 1.2 on the 24-hour and 4.3 on the 7-day. Careful what we call progress. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked out I Trust Capital, proud sponsor right here. Loving what they do. You know, these products I talk to you about often, I tell you about them because I'm a customer first. And I love this opportunity with I Trust Capital. And I tell you, there's a lot of people that are having a lot of change in their life. They're losing their jobs, things of that nature. If you have a 401k and you need to do a rollover, this is the place you want to take a look at it right here. Buy and sell crypto, gold and silver with your IRA. You get your own back office, a lot of control in there. And I tell you, there's nothing better than buying tax-free crypto. I absolutely love it. You got to check it out. You will too. Right here, there's so much more than the innovation race. This race is about our freedom, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make it up. Listen to what Brian Armstrong from Coinbase says here.
I think what their true intention or belief is behind the scenes, and I'm speculating a little bit here, is they just don't want it to exist. And so they're trying to cast a shadow over the whole industry to make it difficult. They're just sending subpoenas and Wells notices.
Why don't they want it to exist? Why?
I believe it's because, and again, this is just me speculating a little bit, I think it's because they don't want to lose power. They think the government should run financial services. They have their hooks into the big banks. They can pressure the big banks to close accounts on, if you have the wrong political opinion or you're in the wrong industry, you're in oil and gas or whatever the flavor of the day is. They want to be able to pressure companies because they can't get it done through Congress. They want to pressure it through the big banks. And crypto, in America, people should be free to have control of their own money, to use new technologies. It's fundamentally anti-American what they're doing, and I think next year in the elections, we need to make sure that all voters and people who are pro-innovation, pro-technology, vote people out of office who are trying to curtail our freedoms around.
Vote them out. That's the theme, and it continues right here. Cowboy Crypto talks about, remember when Brad Garlinghouse quote that the Ripple is competing with the liquidity of Citi? Well, remember, Citi is a gatekeeper to cross-border payments like JP Morgan. Well, according to Cowboy Crypto here, he says, well, Hunter Biden's business had a client named Great Point Energy that partnered with Wan Zhang, which we know is CCP-backed, 1.25 billion natural gas plant in communist China, ladies and gentlemen. Citi invested in Great Point, and this really speaks to the large fight that is at hand here. This is not just about stomping out innovation. I believe Steve Nureyev had it right when he said crypto is the prize. It's about squashing this space and the innovators to where they can pick it up and buy it pennies on a dollar. That's what we're seeing happen here. They know that you can't turn a blind eye to innovation, but they're squashing it as best they can so they can buy it up for themselves. That's what we're watching take place here. Great tweet very quickly here from Digital Asset Investor says, Bitcoin, unknown Satoshi, government leaves it alone. Ethereum, disguised whales in an initial coin offering, government leaves it alone. FTX, Ukraine money laundering, government leaves it alone until fraud collapses it. And they were awarded a special purpose broker-dealer's license as well by Gary Goldman Gensler at this SEC. Tether, no audited financial statement. Government leaves it alone. Are we seeing a pattern? I bet Steve Nureyoff can tell us what's really going on. I bet he could too. Take a listen.
Talk about the top stories. Tether has resumed lending out its own stablecoins less than a year after it said it would reduce its secured loans to zero in 2023. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, which noted that the stablecoin issuer's latest quarterly financial update includes about $5.5 billion of loans as of June 30th, up from $5.3 billion in the prior quarter. Tether Holdings confirmed to the Journal that it made new loans. We reached out to Tether, but didn't hear back right away. The spokesperson reportedly said that the company's goal is to prevent any significant depletion of customer liquidity or the need for them to sell their collateral at potentially unfavorable prices, which could result in losses. Tether, which is incorporated in the British Virgin Islands, notoriously does not publish audited financial statements or a complete balance sheet, which makes for an incomplete picture of the company's financial health.
How about that one? And why is it timely that CNBC is talking about that now? Head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. Then there's this. Bitcoin Magazine thinks it's funny. The Bitcoin logo being projected on Mexico's central bank. Fix the money, fix the world. I say the libertarian in me loves this idea, but the adult in me knows better. Governments will roll out the tanks before they let Bitcoin challenge their money. That was Bernard Bernanke from the Federal Reserve formerly. This is not a good look no matter where you stand. You know, it just isn't. And shout out to Ripple Van Winkle down here. Says this is cute, but this is as far as Bitcoin has gotten in Mexico. Then highlights that Ripple, the real player in the game, has spoken with Central Bank of Mexico, which we've covered here in years past. He's absolutely right. Shout out to him for that. And then we see here, R3 CBDC innovation continues at a rapid pace. Congratulations to industry leader Temenos on unveiling its proof of concept for central bank digital currency wallet integration. We are thrilled that Corda has played a part shaping the future of money. I put this illustration up here to remind everybody that Ripple sits right in the middle of what Temenos does, and I wanted to share that. That is coming from the Bank XRP YouTube channel if you want to go see it for yourself. So there you have that. Then there's a reminder of this, Valente Technologies. It is enormous. And this is a reminder that Valente Technologies is partnered with Ripple. Ripple plans to diversify, become the Amazon of cryptocurrency world as reported. That was from Valente Technologies. That is Monica Long and Chris Larson from Ripple standing there. Monica Long, now the president at Ripple. And this is just a quick reminder: 4 of the top 5 corporate banks, 2 of the 4 top Canadian banks, 2 of the 3 top Swiss banks, 4 of the top 10 Mexican banks, 2 of the largest card networks. That's who Ripple's partner is. Yeah, in case anyone feels like whining about the price, remind them of that. Then we have this, the gentleman from Deliotte, and this here from Darren Moore, shout out to him. He says, Palau will be the evidence that everyone uses to say that's safe enough for me. Take a listen to this quick clip from Deliotte and what he says.
In order to do that, do you need a level of buy-in from regulators, or is that permitted under the existing? I see, Roy, you want to take that one.
I'm shaking my head because you had Matt McDermott here the other day, yesterday, I think, and he made a statement a couple of weeks ago, and he said in the US, the only way to do it is permission network, like Tony was talking about.
There you go.
And the answer is moving into the space, even if it's a permission network, and I'll put my US side on because I don't want to talk globally, you need regulatory approval. Before, when you build it, before you go out into the wild, develop it, you'll need to go to your regulator, be it the FDIC, be it the Fed, be it the OCC, and make sure that they are comfortable with whatever you're designing. If it's a permission network, then the discussion is easier. If you're talking about permissionless, to Tony's point, there are a lot of risks, specifically around, how do you know who's your counterparty? How do you know you're not paying a sanctioned country? And that will, at least in the US side, will not allow them to progress.
That means that dog won't hunt. That's what that means. That's why Ripple has a private ledger for central banks, right? That's what that means. Nothing's getting through the gate with this open, permissionless business in the financial system. That much you can already know about. And what we do see that's going to make it through the system in tokenization and a liquidity hub. Let's have Brad Chase, the head of liquidity products at Ripple, tell you. And let's see if we can't find a pattern in the verbiage here.
What are you most excited about, and what does the marketplace need to be educated about for that to happen?
Yeah, so at Ripple, the thing that brought me here 7 years ago, and I've stayed at the company, is this Internet of Value visions. The idea that you can move value of any type seamlessly around the world and very cheaply, in the same way you can send an email to anyone in the world and not really having a second thought about how much it costs or how long it's going to take to arrive. And what we've seen kind of already is the adoption, and we definitely have crypto assets in the manner that we've been talking about and ways that people are trying to use them. But there's increasingly tokenized assets. So that's using the same core technology, but bringing other assets that are not native to a blockchain and representing them there. That's a thing like a stablecoin already being adopted in a variety of payments use cases. But then you can think to other tokenized assets like real estate, gaming tokens. And one way to use those things well and kind of enable the internet value is interoperability between these assets. So at Ripple, this is why we have our product like Liquidity Hub, where you need a way to be able to exchange an asset from one type to another. When you have that interoperability layer, value can start moving, flowing freely. And it's the same way that you saw this Cambrian explosion of the internet, enabling new types of business, new types of capabilities. We'll see the same thing here.
Cambrian explosion. Chris Larson used to say that back in the day too. But guess who else is saying it? Chris Larson was one of those guys, but now it's Chris Giancarlo that's saying Cambrian explosion. This from a clip from Thinking Crypto's video or interview here. Take a listen to this.
Like stablecoins, so that's the way the future should be, because the future is going to be all of the above. We're like in a Cambrian ecological explosion of activity, and the future is going to be all of the above.
Oh, goodness. 1 second. Here we go.
Should be, because the future is going to be all of the above. We're like in a Cambrian ecological explosion of activity, and the future is going to be all of the above. And we need to make sure that we're out there expressing what our values. And of course, there's the decentralized world. And we need to make sure that governments that launch a CBDC don't try to ban, as China's doing, decentralized world. So we need to think broadly about the future and be as active as we can to bring these values of a democratic and free society. Like stablecoins, so that's the way the future should be.
Absolutely.
Because the future is going to be all of the above. We're like in a
Cambrian
ecological explosion of activity, and the future is going to be all of the above.
So you get the Cambrian explosion. Now, what I find interesting is not only is Brad Chase saying Cambrian explosion, Chris Larson said Cambrian explosion years ago. Then we hear Chris Giancarlo from the Digital Dollar Project, who just got done doing a pilot study and still ongoing, I believe, with Western Union. But this is Kevin Mole. Now, Kevin Mole is he's an ex-employee from Ripple. Yeah, ex-Rippler right here. Now the head of digital assets executive at Western Union. This is really interesting, ladies and gentlemen, seeing all of this stuff. Maybe it's small to you, but it isn't to me. When I've been in this space this long, it all means something. Speaking of meaning something, take a look at this chart here. The bullish trend from Egrad Crypto is showing us we get this cross the way we've seen it in the past. We could be staring down some kind of version of history rhyming. I'd rather it repeat the 2017 if I had a choice, but I don't. So we're going to watch and see what happens just like everyone does. But you know what? We are moving into a window here to see exactly what's going to take place. Will this cross the way we need it to in history's past? And if it does, where will it go? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. That's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me or anyone else, just my digital perspectives. Hit the like and subscribe for us before you leave out of here today. Tell everybody about it. Check out all the links underneath the video. Great products and services I use each and every day. You're going to love them too. And you may even find there's a great deal in there for you as well. I'll catch all of you on the next one.